Secret societies are full of mysteries and captivating to many, the Illuminati being the most famous of them all. The reason why they're so mysterious is because potential whistleblowers are dealt with in ways that don't necessarily follow the law, if you know what I mean. Zachary is a former satanic high wizard who used to work alongside the Illuminati, and he is one of the few that was able to escape the nefarious organization. Here's how he did it.
You realize at some point that if you leave, there's three ways to leave. You can die of natural causes, you can be murdered, or you can commit suicide. Now, all three of those methods, I believed I'd sold my soul to the devil when I was 13. So all three of those methods, I end up in hell. Now, when I first started, I wasn't sure hell was real. I agreed to sell my soul to the devil because I'm not sure the devil is real, and I'm not sure that hell is real. Now that I'm the high wizard, I know the devil is real, and I'm pretty certain that hell is a real place. And I am not ready to go. So I have a bank account that has $87 million. None of it's mine. I can't spend it with impunity. It belongs to my coven. Whenever I have certain covers that I present to people or certain disguises, they have to know my bank account. So it's there for that. I drive a Lamborghini Diablo that was loaned to me by another Satanist. It's not my car. I have to give that back. My real car during that time, because I had a bunch of cars, my real car was a Nissan Sentra. Not even a new one. It was older. You know, I dressed as the High Wizard, and I chose an 18th century style tuxedo. And it was made by a very nice clothing manufacturer. And it was expensive. And if you saw me in that, you thought, whoa, he's dressed nice. But if you came to my house, I remember I lived in Frenchtown. Frenchtown is in Tallahassee, Florida. Frenchtown starts one block behind the governor's mansion. I don't know what it's like now, but back when I lived there, it was the ghetto. If you came to my house and saw me dressed, I was probably wearing cutoffs, flip-flops, and a Metallica t-shirt. You know, I didn't dress in nice clothes all the time. I lived in the ghetto. I drove a borrowed car. You know, I had $87 million. It wasn't mine. My bank account had about between $235 and $265 in it when I was done paying all my bills.
So you had no money, and you mentioned there's three options, and all three of them lead to you dying, and you have no money in order to get out anyway. So I understand the difficulty of that, you know, to start with. But my question also is, because eventually you did end up leaving Satanism, but weren't you scared that your family was going to get targeted? Because I feel like that would be something pretty obvious. If you tried to escape, if you try to flee, they're going to target your family. So what was your thought process about that?
When I graduated college, by then I had been a high wizard for about 5 years. I stopped contacting my parents and my brother. I didn't contact any family. You know, when all you think about is yourself, and you're that selfish, no one else matters to you. Which really, I think, was to my advantage when I left, because I wasn't worried about my parents.
Mm.
There wasn't any indication that I had called them in like the last 7 or 8 years. You know, I didn't send them letters. You know, like there wasn't much email back then. I had a cell phone, but you know, I never called my parents on it. Now, my dad said when I came back, because I was gone from my parents for about 17 years. My dad said that somebody nefarious, you're not sure who, put a tap on their phones.
Hmm.
And he saw somebody climb the pole in the back that wasn't AT&T and was tapping the phones.
So they still found your family, even if you hadn't had contact. They still found them and tried to find you that way.
I mean, everybody knew who my family was. They knew where I was from. They were trying to find me, and they never found because I never called them or did anything.
Well, let's talk about that part because that's really interesting. How were you able to escape the World Church of Satan and the Illuminati without being caught? Uh, what did you try, and how did you end up kind of like evading them for that long?
I had been a private investigator, and I learned I was never hired to find somebody and was unable to find them. Like, I had tons of tricks and, just tricks of the trade, stuff you learn, you pick up along the way on how to find somebody. Everybody leaves a paper trail, regardless of whether you think you do or you don't. Everybody does. Now, I can tell you the first thing you need to do if you're going to go into hiding is to rent a bedroom in a house and not get any utilities in your name. To rent from somebody that already has a phone. If you're going to get a cell phone, get a burner phone. Back when I left, cell phones were rare. So when I left, I ended up, well, I'm getting out of myself. First off, I pilfered money out of my own account because they watched my regular account and my $87 million account. I can't touch that account. And if I take any of that, I'm stealing. They can charge me with that. So out of my own account, every week, I mean, they knew that every week I took some money out of my account for like a candy bar at the grocery store. I'd take $10 out. Well, now I started doing $10 a week or $20 here and there, but I didn't spend it on a candy bar. I put it away. And I did that for about 8 months. And I sold a couple of things at home. Stuff that I knew this is like a high-end item. So, I mean, it's worth $1,000. Let's say I spent, I sell it for $800 instead. People are going to jump at it. I'm going to get $800.
Okay.
So, I'm doing things like that. Eventually, I had a decent amount of money, just squirreled away. Didn't put it in the bank, kept it in cash in my house. And then we had anything you wanted to go do, there's a Satanist that does it. Like, I had a satanic doctor. So I made an appointment with the satanic doctor. And you jump up on the interstate and you get off on the last exit. And that takes you right to his office. So I made that appointment for 5 p.m. I'd be the last appointment of the day. And I jumped up on the interstate and just kept going. Didn't get off on the exit. Drove my car until I ran out of gas. Oh, I also took all my credit cards with me. Chopped those up along the way. And every town I'd go in, I'd just throw half of it away. And then when I ran out of gas, I then hitched a ride to the next town. When I got there, I sold my car for scrap. Had a backpack, packed everything that I wanted to take in my backpack, which pretty much was food, and got a Greyhound bus ticket. And this was 1999. So you didn't need a passport to get into Canada. And so I bought a Greyhound bus ticket to get me into Canada.